Hey y'all, my name is Adrian. I guess I'm just a little guy on the internet trying to make a positive impression on the world, in a way others have done for me. So, you can call me Adrian, or Joe, or whatever else you like. Just do whatever feels right to you, because that's kind of what we're talking about today. You! Well, I mean, the concept of being yourself, but you already read the title, you know what's going on. As a basic concept, it sounds pretty straightforward. Being yourself. Aren't you just always yourself? I mean, it's all up to the way you interpret that, whatever that means. Everyone has a different view of what they present themselves as, who they really are, and how they want to live their lives. Okay, before we start, I want to remind y'all just to grab a quick glass of water. I am thirsty, so I'm going to be gone for like a second. You can pause if you want to go grab a glass of water. Please do. I'll see you guys in a second. Was not a good idea. So, we're going to start to talk about the what. What do you present yourself as? This is more of your outward appearance or personality that you choose to share with the world. This is not how other people see you necessarily, but how you think the world sees you. I mean, as a little example, Tetra over here, Tetra shows that they love cozy sweaters, and they love earrings, and they love wearing hats. They love good fashion. That's something. But Tetra also shows themselves as a good listener, and as someone you can trust. Lysanderoth, on the other hand, depicts himself as a charismatic villain who loves to cause chaos. He also loves his signature monocle for those villain vibes. There we go, I can't speak. Maybe a little more on the destructive side, but that's how he goes about showing himself to the world. Now I want you to think about that for yourself if you haven't already. What do you represent yourself as? Take your time. You could write something down, or you could just think about it in your head. Whatever works for you. Feel free to pause for the next few seconds too, if you want to think about it. Maybe 3 seconds to pause, and then we're going to move on. 3, 2, 1. Oh no, Tetra fell down, and I'm probably blocking Lysanderoth too. I'm just gonna boom, boom. Better. Now, more importantly, who you really are. Lysanderoth. This is who you are on the inside, and all the things that make you feel happy. Something that only you, and maybe those you care about, would know about you. I'd like to imagine this part of myself through my favorite hobbies, activities, memories that make my life worth living. Now, back to Tetra. Tetra loves to dance. It's their favorite activity, and dancing is a time where they can feel like themselves. Tetras also loves to make music and dance along to their own songs. Some things important to them are making meaningful connections with other people, and being there for their friends when they need each other the most. For Lysanderoth, he secretly loves attention from other people. He acts as a villain so people can notice him. While he once planned to betray his friends for his master plan, he now looks forward to story night by the campfire. He also has a fascination with firearms, and he can describe each and every one in his collection. He's holding 2 guns right now. Yes, he has 2 guns. Also, finger painting really calms him down. Whenever he's stressed, he doesn't need to be worried about how good or bad his finger painting is, but just how it makes him feel. Get back up. I mean, it's kind of your fault too. I'm not alone in this, okay? I'm not alone in this. Okay, so now here comes the part where you think about the who for yourself. Who are you and what defines you? Again, take your time, as much as you need. Write stuff down, just think about it. Whatever you want. You can do as much or as little as you want for this. I'm going to give you some time to think about it, so 3, 2, 1. So lastly, the how. I would argue this is the most important one. I mean, everything's important, but how do you want to live your life? This can be chalked up as your goals, aspirations, and the person you really want to become. Is there something you want to change about yourself, or a new skill you want to learn? Something new you want to have fun with? Is there something that you want as a part of your identity? What kind of person do you wish to be? Tetra over here wishes to be more courageous in their day-to-day lives. Sometimes talking to new people or trying new things can be really hard. Tetra wants to build up that strength to face their fears and just see what might happen. Overall, Tetra wants to step out of their comfort zone a little more often. Lysanderoth wants to act more compassionate about those he really cares about. He finds it difficult to articulate his feelings and wants to show his friends that he truly cares about who they are and what they're going through and what they mean to him. Overall, Lysanderoth wants to open up to those he trusts in order to show them that he cares. Okay, now one last time, I want you to think about the how. How do you want to live your life? Is there something specific you want to become? A concept you wish to embody? Or something else entirely? Take your time. Again, no rush. Write as little or much as you want. Don't need to write it again. Same things as I've been saying before. So, I'm going to give you a little time to think on that. Pause if you need. 3, 2, 1. Okay, with all the stuff we've been questioning about and talking about Tetra and Lysanderoth and thinking about for ourselves, the point I'm getting at is everyone has a different outlook on themselves, no matter how simple or complex that may be. But we're not here to talk about everyone else right now. I assumed you clicked on this video to question what it means to be you. So I want you to look at any notes you've taken or whatever you've thought about and wonder. Just wonder for a second. Or as long as you need, doesn't need to be a second. Whatever, just think about it. Does this feel right? Is this me? Got something that feels right? Truly right? Truly you? I hope so. But I know these are deep questions, and these simple, deep questions are usually the hardest ones to answer. So I'm going to be honest. If you're not sure if what you thought is you, or can't quite figure that out, yeah, me too. Actually taking the time to think about yourself can be honestly quite difficult, at least from what I've experienced. I will never know how any of you truly feel, as this is all through a screen, not just staring at my phone right now. It's kind of strange, actually. But I hope you seeing someone else's experience, or whatever I've experienced, can help you in some way or another. Feels like I think about myself every waking second. But it's never about the what, who, the how, or anything that's really good. It's always about the thing I said earlier, or that test coming up, or thinking about how I was on my phone all day scrolling, wasting the day, or whatever I like to say about that. In some ways, it feels like I've lost who I am, with my brain occupied on worrying about things that worrying can't accomplish, instead of what's important. Okay, back to point number 1. Sadly, appearances are necessary. I wish they weren't, but they are. That's why I did add the first point. What you present yourself as. Because honestly, that's a part of you. And every part is important in some way or another. However, I find it goes a little too far when this appearance is based on what you think other people would like, instead of what you want other people to see. Sometimes the world can be so muddled and distorted, so much information all at once, impressions to make, people to please. I find I have to censor myself just to fit in most of the time. And I'm sure I'm not alone with that. To anyone who knows me in real life, I promise I'm working on that and being more true to myself, whoever that is. And I hope it shows. Well, this is the point where I talk about what I wish to accomplish for myself in my life, to figure out myself and what it means to be me. So, if you've watched enough and wish to click off, go ahead. I just have one message before you all go. And but you can also stay. If you want to stay, that'd be great, but just I know some people have things to do, so go do those things if you have to. Whatever you are is special. You are truly special. Sometimes it's hard to be yourself. But I want you all to try your best to be yourselves. Be your best selves. No matter what happens. It might be hard, but don't give up. I'm rooting for you. I really appreciate y'all for sticking this long, and I hope you gained something from this. If anything at all. See you, friends. For everyone who stays, I'm not going to get too personal, not in this video at least, but there's a few things I want to mention, specifically why I made this YouTube channel and what it's here for, if any of you care for this. Because this channel is kind of a way for me to find myself and focus on my passions and become the person I want to be. First of all, some things are going to be changing a little bit around here because I want them to. So yeah. Firstly, I want to be more wholesome. I find that's something that feels like me, just, I don't know, being wholesome. It's a weird thing, I don't know. And I feel I've lost this wholesome part of myself over the past few years of torture through high school. Honestly, yeah. Also, I find wholesome people are some of the hardest people to find on the internet. At least from my experience. And those wholesome people on the internet are really helpful sometimes. While this video isn't quite what you'd call wholesome, I'm going to be working on that for myself. And I hope I can be one of those wholesome creators for you someday. That'd be sick, actually. Waboo, baboo, baboo. Yeah. On that note, I guess a second point of mine is I want to limit my swearing. For me, F-U-C-K has lost its original weight as a word as I started using it as a crutch for my humor, which is funny, but I want to be funny, and just like more in general, I've been using it a lot. So from now on, I will only say the F word when it's a really serious thing or when it actually makes sense to swear. Until I'm used to that, I'm gonna try to use words such as flip, just to kind of censor myself. I know you probably all don't really care about swearing. I mean, everyone does it, it's mainstream, so everyone swears. But I feel the weight of a swear can carry is quite important. And I want to change that for myself. So I can actually keep the importance of that word. Okay, one more thing. I'm going to do more videos with my face. Whoa. I want to be more transparent as a person in real life and on the internet. And I feel like this is definitely a good start, at least on the internet, to getting comfortable with that feeling of being myself and not hiding behind anything or just being more open about myself in general. Because everyone puts a mask online whether they like it or not. I feel like everyone does it. I feel like there's not a single person who's completely themselves online. Maybe I'm wrong, but there's just that sense of fear. It's so easy to compare yourself to other people by seeing a trip they went on or whatever they're doing, and it's easy to compare yourself. It's easy to compare your happiness, which is not really a good thing because people only put what they want. You don't see the sad moments, or you only see what's going on, and maybe they're not even having a good time. There's nothing really to base that off of. So I'm working on taking off that mask, which might not ever happen, but I want to try my best. I don't want to need to make impressions for myself on the internet. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of impressions anyway, I was saying that earlier. But also I feel like for some other people it might be nice to have someone that is just more truthful and doesn't really, more truthful about everything going on. So I'm going to try that. It's going to take time, it's going to take courage, and we'll see what happens. Oh my god, how long have you been like that? Just get back up. Did I say it wrong? Oh, off your blanket. Don't you dare do that again. You hear me? Look into my eyes. Rethink your life choices real quick. Sweet, okay. Okay, so closing remarks, I guess. I know I'm making this video and script myself, so there's definitely going to be some bias in this video. Sadly, can't avoid it. I guess that's just what it's going to be like being a 17-year-old guy on the internet, or anyone on the internet in general. I hope whatever your interpretation is that it helps you in some way. If it didn't help you, then click off and find something that does help. Or talk to a friend. Or just have some fun. That's what's important. This type of video is probably going to be a one-off. I mean, most of my content is I'm trying to figure things out for myself and what I end up wanting to make, honestly. And I unfortunately won't be able to post for a little while too, but I've been pretty vulnerable through all this. I mean, it might not seem like it, but I mean, I feel like I'm being vulnerable through this. And I mean, vulnerability is what leads to growth, but it feels kind of strange, honestly. Especially on the internet in front of a camera and like, yeah, it's a thing. I know not many random people will actually see this, but there still will be a few that actually see it, so I don't know what to think about that. Also, for like people I know, this is just gonna be weird, but I want to do this, so I'm gonna go ahead for it. Because I wrote this whole script and I'm not giving up now. If you want to follow my journey or whatever I'm doing, if that's cool to you, sweet. I'm happy. That's great. But that's pretty cool, actually. But if not, thanks for tuning in this one time. And I hope it was great for you. And to everyone watching, remember, you are important. Don't ever forget that. Y'all have a good day.